the disturbing movie Iceberg, because no one's ever done this video before. But one thing I do want to state is I promised back in 2021 that I would make this video right here. It's 2025, but just like your father at your high school graduation, it's better late than never. So I am here to throw my beanie in the mix and to explain to you what actually happened on this iceberg, because I've seen plenty of videos, a lot of them have misinformation or details wrong with this, that, and the third, or people state that they didn't watch the bottom tiers, and you're looking at the guy who unveiled the majority of the bottom tiers. I mean, if you go down to those videos all the way back in the day from 2021, I was the first guy to do fetus munches.
They tape her mouth shut, and they put her back. The creator had the audacity to put in the credits for people to make reviews and spread the word about his creation.
Jesus fatais. While he's doing this, he literally points the knife at the camera and he's like this. And he starts giving like a shout out. He's like, yo, shout out to my homeboy KJ back at the hood. You heard? Hold on, check this out. Oh, man. No one was doing it at the time because no one could find them. Whether I did that fortunately or unfortunately, that's up for interpretation. But I found them, I unveiled them, I dispelled a lot of rumors back in the day. I'm going to continue doing it, trying to go over every single last thing on here. But this video is to at least give you a summary of what happened from a guy who has seen like almost all of the bottom of the tiers, right? Actually, almost all of it, okay? Now, when it comes to the top tiers, I have been watching them just in preparation for this video right here. And I got to say, you know, a lot of them suck. But with that being said, I need to state this before we go any further into the video. Nothing here is illegal. I need you guys to know, like, this is serious. Nothing here is illegal. Because that's been floating around for many, many years. Nothing here is illegal. No, but from what I heard, well, you heard wrong. But what from someone said that person was incorrect. Well, from what I know, well, you know nothing. Okay? Nothing here is illegal. There is nothing here illegal. Everything here is legal. Now, is it still horrifying? Is it still graphic? Yes. Horrifying, graphic, disturbing, blah, blah, blah. Terrible, but legal. That's what you have to understand, people. But with that being said, before I jump into this whole entire iceberg, make sure you like and subscribe. Comment down below something, something, something. Patreon down below. It helps me out a lot. Subscribing to my Patreon doesn't just help me out, but you also get some benefits like constant post/updates so you know when these videos are coming out and at what pace they're coming out at. You also get exclusive videos which will never see the light of day on YouTube. You also get early access content, not only days, but even weeks ahead of time. Like this entire iceberg, they got it step by step by step by step for like the past month from tier 1, tier 2, having them together, and tier 3 as well. And on top of all that, when it comes to these longer form videos, you get your name inside the credits. If any of that sounds cool to you, definitely check out my Patreon. It is linked down below. It's linked in the description. It is everywhere. It helps me out a lot. And it's only about $5 a month, depending on which tier you get. I appreciate everybody who is a patron, and I appreciate every single individual who is considering it. Let's get to the video. So with that shit being said, let's jump into, like, I guess the sky, the iceberg, which, if you don't know how an iceberg works, this is how an iceberg works. So essentially, you need to get with the fucking times. I'm not going to explain how an iceberg works. It's 2025. If you don't know at this point, you're just not supposed to know. Tier 1, let's get into it. Friday the 13th with a Y, by the way. Shout out to spelling errors. So essentially, if you don't know what Friday the 13th is, it's this ugly kid, right? And he gets drowned for being deformed, rightfully so. And when this happens, the mother gets angry, so she gets a machete and she starts butchering all the camp counselors. And every single time I talk to a woman about this movie, they all tell me the exact same thing. They say, if that was my kid, I would do that. If that was my kid, I would do exactly that. Which, you know what? I want to believe you. Hell, I would believe you. If y'all bitches stop throwing your babies into dumpsters, it's like every other week they're finding a baby in a dumpster. It's horrifying stuff. I remember there was this one chick who went to a hospital. She came in with a fat belly, left with a flat belly, because she dug up into herself, pulled out a baby, and just threw it in the garbage can and left it there to rot. It was horrifying stuff. And I know, you're going to hit me with some stupid response like, Cold Raven, you'll never know what it's like to be a mother. Cold Raven, you'll never know what it's like to be a woman, which would be true if it was 2006, right? 2025. So right here, I'm going to prove my womanhood by throwing a baby in a fucking dumpster like a real woman would. Anyway, back onto the movie. Let me tell you what, guys, there's like 20 of these Friday the 13th movies, and all of them are either mediocre to just bad. That's it. So it starts off with his mother being the main villain, then it's Jason. He comes back out the lake all deformed. He's a big zombie, crazy strength. He goes to Manhattan. He also has this fight with like some little girl who knows telepathy, and she's like, and then Jason's like mask pops and he's like a real zombie. At a point, Jason also goes to outer space. Yes, he goes to outer space, becomes a robot, gets into a robot fight, gets shot back down to Earth like a meteorite. Then he fights a dream demon, that being Freddy Krueger. And you know what's crazy? Everything I said actually happens. I did not make up any of that, and that happens across like 10 movies. And there's a lot of other crazy stuff, but that's Friday the 13th for you. It's just bullshit, right? It's like Family Guy the movie. That's what it essentially is. It's just random shit happens. Keep Jason going. Now again, none of these movies are necessarily great. None of them are good. All of them are just like mediocre. They're either C tier, D tier, or F tier. But it's just cool to watch Jason, you know, the dispatch of people in creative ways. This one time he grabbed this guy's skull and he was squeezing it. His eyes came out. So it's cool when you see stuff like that. But if you're there for the plot, you're there for the wrong reasons. Moving on. So if you don't know what Annabelle is, it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It's part of the Conjuring universe. So this is Conjuring, Annabelle. All these movies suck. Each and every single one of them suck to different degrees. And you'll have people who fight me tooth and nail. Like, oh, they don't suck, Cold Raven. They're just really boring. Like, they're garbage. They're garbage. So here's what happens. You get this Christian family, right? And, you know, the husband is like, I love you, and you collect dolls, so I'm gonna get you this doll. And conveniently, after getting this doll, what happens is like this is satanic group just like breaks into the house. They're going crazy. One of the chicks gets put down, and then she like puts herself into the doll, and then the doll's like haunting them, and then they move, and they're like, we're still getting haunted. And then they get a priest, and the priest is like, we're still getting haunted. And then they're like, yo, the Holy One, we're still getting haunted. And it's like, no matter what they do, they're still getting haunted. And here's what pisses me off. I gotta say this, y'all. Here's what really pisses me off. The demon, satanic group lady taking over the doll was going after the baby. Going after the baby. And I gotta be honest, I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. I'm gonna keep it gangster for a minute. If a demon was going after my baby, I would just let it happen. Yo, he's like 4 or 5 months old. He don't know nothing. He don't remember nothing. He can't even talk. He can't walk. He can't do nothing. Just let it have it. Well, fuck it. I don't know. I'm just going to keep it going. I'll just make another one. Listen, I can always have another beer fetcher. The thing is, if he was like 7 years old, I think I would care. But then he's like, he's 7 years old. He's kind of annoying anyway. Like, come on, go get him. And I chuck him right to the demon. And the demon is pulling him down like, Dad, help! I'm like, to any hot ladies around, I do not have a son. That is not my son. He's getting pulled down. Let me tell you what, people. You can always make another one. It's what, 4 months old? What is that? You get 9 months and blah, blah, blah. You put that right there. It's like 12, 13 months. You can have another bugger, right? So I would genuinely have no sleep or no love lost for that. Just make another one. But as for the movie, horrible movie. The movie sucks. The movie just absolutely sucks. It's boring. It's boring. And it's boring. I had to watch it in sections. I had to watch it. Like, I would sit down and watch it for like 20 minutes. And I did that like 4 or 5 times until I was finished. And at the end, like, this chick who was like friends, and she just knows everything about the spirituality. She was like, it wants a sacrifice. So she like jumps out of a window. It's dude, this is piss water. The second that character was introduced, I knew that's what was gonna happen. This movie is an F tier movie. Horrible. For the next movie, we have Scream. Overrated. Yep, you heard me correctly. Overrated. I know a lot of people are going to be pissed right now. You're boiling. This is an S tier movie, Cold Raven. Cold Raven, this is an A tier movie. Every single time I talk to people about this, they always put it in an S tier, an A tier, and that's a lie. Let me tell you what. If you don't know what Scream is, these 2 psychopaths, everybody's in high school, and they're going around, they're going after everybody, they're tormenting this entire neighborhood, butchering people one at a time, but you can't catch them because there's 2 of them. So if one's in jail, the other one's still on the loose, and oh my god, you can't get them. And that's a great plot. Up until it's not. Because it's a great plot but a horrible movie. What do I mean by this? Check it out. So this movie is like 50% parody, 50% take it for realsies. And that right there already boils my blood because you get like these stupid references, and I'll never forget this scene. There's so many scenes in here that are just stinking, rotten, skunk ass. Okay, and I can't stand it. One of the skunk ass scenes was when the principal opens the door. He looks at the janitor. He's like, "It's Freddy, the janitor," and he's wearing the Freddy sweater. Like, oh, guys, horrible scene. I hate that scene. I was with someone in the comment section. Like, I like that scene. Well, nobody likes you. Another scene I absolutely can't stand was when the chick was trying to crawl out the garage. He presses the button and she's like, for like a minute fucking straight. And I'm like, can we stop? We get it. Okay? Oh, the worst aspect of this entire movie. Let me tell you what. Has anyone else noticed this? Go rewatch the movie. Every single time, mind you, these two psychopaths are like jocks. These are big guys. They ain't small guy, like 5'11". The other one's like 6'2", 6'3". These are big guys. Every single time, they're like, trying to get a chick and put her out of her misery. Shout out to Chester Bennington. Anytime they're trying to get her, they just get tumbled around. Mind you, these guys are big guys, 5'11", 6 feet tall. These chicks are like 5'1", 5'2", 120 pounds. And yet, these women are just throwing them around like they're fist fighting fucking Goku. And I'm like, what's happening? Like, she's like, hiya! And this guy goes flying across the room. Like, oh, they're stumbling, knocking over lamps, knocking over vases. And, there's ashes going in the air. And it's like, what is going on? And it happens more times than not. I'm like, yo, what the absolute fuck is going on? That these chicks that are half the size are just, hee. And these guys are getting sent flying. Okay? Oh, and the officer, I don't even remember his name. People adore this character. Worst character. The worst. Can't stand him. He's fucking bonehead. The entire movie. So what should I do? Be a cop. No. It's like, dude, I can't. I hate this movie. I actually hate this movie. If it wasn't for the nostalgia, it'd be going lower. B-, it'd be going at the B tier for me. If it wasn't for the nostalgia, it'd be going lower. So try not to get too upset. Child's Play. Now this is a great movie. If you don't know what Child's Play is, essentially there's this guy, right? And he's a criminal. And he's running away from the cop. And he goes into this toy store. But here's the thing. When the cop finally gets him and starts blasting at him, he's all hurt. He has to survive. But he knows voodoo. He knows magic. He spits a ritual. And this causes lightning to strike. And he puts his body into a doll's body. Oh, yeah. And when this happens, the whole entire store kind of burns down. But a bum, which you can relate to, starts grabbing some of these dolls. He's selling them for cheap. And then this mother, because her son's birthday's coming up, she cops one of these things right out of a shopping cart. And she takes this doll, goes home, gives it to her son, and incredible movie. I love Child's Play. I love the first one. It's so good. Good Lord. Let me tell you what. The doll is like moving around. He's over here. He's watching TV. He's making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. We're like, oh my God, you gotta stop it. So she's getting mad at her son. She's like, you need to knock this shit off. It's too late to be doing this stupid stuff. Then out of nowhere, one of the babysitters gets murked out, jumped right out the window. Little footprints on the counter. Oh, this is like the best movie scene ever. This is like my favorite movie scene ever. After like 30 to 40 minutes of all these shenanigans going on, the mother's like inspecting the doll. She turns it over, opens the back, and then there's no batteries in it. I'm like, whoa! Every single time I see that scene, you know that it's Chucky. You know that that guy's inside the doll, but it hits every single time. And then at a point, yo, Chucky goes to the voodoo guy, Eternal Rituals, grabs a voodoo doll, starts breaking his leg. Guys, it's a hell of a movie to watch. It is fun. Chucky's got a lot of spunk, a lot of character. Because I hate a lot of these characters just don't say nothing. He just says nothing and, oh, look at this, look at that. Like, nah. Chucky carries the franchise, carries the movie. He's so witty. He's shit talker. Love it. I absolutely love it. And at the end of it, right, he don't go down easy. He don't go down. They throw him in a fireplace. He gets, like, torn into a whole bunch of pieces. They blast at him like 20-something times. He just, like, this little arm is still crawling. God, he just won't go down. Really good movie, by the way. I personally recommend this one. You gotta watch at least the first Child's Play. For the rest of the franchise, like a whole bunch of them. There's Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, fucking Chucky Ultimate Racing for the PlayStation 3. You don't need all that other garbage. You gotta at least watch the first, like, 1 or 2 of them. So with that being said, moving on to the next movie. Oh! A tier. Moving on to the next movie. The Ring, which is a really, Really good movie. We're not talking about Ringu, the Japanese stuff. We're talking about the American one. Now, this movie used to scare the piss out of me as a kid, and as a grown man, it's still kind of scary. So if you don't know what this is, essentially you find a VHS tape, which is something, you know, it's a thing of the past, right? I'm not going to pretend I'm much older. I'm in my 20s. But you get this VHS tape, you put it into a VHS player. And if you see the movie, you get like bugs, you see like a well, you see a little girl like coming out of this little well, and la 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 la. And if you watch it, your ass is cooked. You got 7 days, okay? And after 7 days, this little girl comes out of your screen and she just like, I don't know, like she breaks your face. I never understood, like they don't show necessarily what she does. But anytime you find somebody, like they're gray and their eyes are like blackened and their jaw is just like just damn. You know what I'm saying? Yo, there's a little girl doing this, like she's like 7, 8 years old, you're just wrecking people's shit. Right? And it starts off right off the jump, just doing this to some grown ass woman. Horrifying stuff. So it's like this cursed tape. Don't watch it. People keep watching it. The part of the movie that really pissed me off was when she was like investigating it, the main character, and then her son is like, he puts it into the TV and he just starts watching it and he's like, Mommy, why couldn't I watch it? Well, you know what? At that point, I would have just let him sit there and suffer the consequences. But it turns into this big investigation movie. Oh, the twist at the end. I'm going to spoil it. If you haven't seen this movie that's been out for 20 years yet, I'm going to spoil it. Oh, when they go over there and they do the whole entire gimmick with the well and she sets her free. Her soul is free, blah, blah, blah. And you think the movie's over? And then the guy, the TV turns on. I was like, no! Yeah, I started tripping balls, yeah. Yeah. That had me tripping balls. I started screaming, yo, and then they get his ass. I could not believe it. And the only way to break the curse was that you had to like take it, and then you had to copy the tape. You got to get a copy of the tape. Oh my god, great movie. I genuinely enjoyed it. It's a little bit on the slower pace, I'll be honest. But it's interesting. There are parts of it that are corny. Some parts are just a little corny. Not the worst stuff ever. But if you're patient and you let it go, I genuinely enjoyed it. Personally, probably A-tier movie for me. I thought it was great. Again, as per usual, y'all let me know in the comment section down below what y'all think. The Grudge, which is a fitting title, because I will forever hold a grudge against the people who made this and the people who enjoy this. This is F-tier. Horrible. Abysmal. Should not exist. Let me tell you what, this entire movie, this entire thing is carried by those two scenes. You know, with the blanket and she's like, ah. And then the whole entire with the hand in the shower, which is like a 5-second scene. Other than that, this movie's acting is horrible. The plot is stupid. The plot is like it was an unfaithful wife. The husband gets pissed, murks out the whole family, even the cat, which made me laugh. So what the fuck did the cat do? The cat gets it too. So what they do is happens in Japan. They send this white blonde chick over to Japan. We are blessed with the greatest movie line that has ever existed. Oh, I love this movie line. I can still remember it. Mind you, I saw this movie 3 to 4 months ago. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Watashi wa Karen. Watashi wa Karen. Watashi wa Karen. Fuck. Just ouch. Okay, when I heard it, I started bursting out laughing. I wish I would have recorded my reaction. I started laughing so hard. I was snorting. I was drooling. I was crying. I was pissing. I was farting. I was, everything. Everything. Just the delivery. And anytime she was like talking Japanese to it was just horrible. Horrible. Oh my lord, this movie's pacing is just so slow. It's like watching a snail fucking drag its ass on a glue trap. It's so slow. So slow. And then when it picks up for all of 5 seconds. It picks up for all of 5 seconds. And I don't care about the stupid ending. I don't care about nothing. This movie is just trash. It's horrible. It's boring. The plot sucks. The characters suck. There's nobody to root for. Everything is just bad. F tier. Moving on. The Conjuring. Well, it's a movie. It sure is a movie. It's a movie. Right? It's actually a movie. If I were to change the title from The Conjuring to Human Movie _1 or Horror Movie or The Horror Movie, A Horror Movie, I think all those titles would be fitting. This has to be the most mundane, plain, safe, generic. It's just a horror movie. Like, this is like, if I were to ever introduce somebody into horror movies, this would be that one. This would be like, yo, you ever seen a horror movie before? No, I haven't. You should watch The Conjuring. It's just, so it's like, this is everything I hate about horror movies, just like put into one. It's just, family getting haunted. They move. Still getting haunted. Call exorcism. Ta-da! Out my ass! Okay. This is generic. This is about as, like, stand out as a plain white tee from a pack of Hanes. This is nothing. This is nothing. And if you think this movie should be anywhere out of D tier, you should be put into a loony bin. And that's it, just cut and dry. You need to be put into a loony bin. And it was like, oh, she's blowing on the match and like, clap your hands. If I was there, dude, I'd be running. If I was in that bed, man, I'd be running. I'd be like, oh my god, this is so scary. I hate this movie. It's a movie. Let's go over the next one. Insidious, which I gotta say it's Insidious, right? Let me tell you what, guys. Insidious, Conjuring, Annabelle, and any movie like that, like let's talk about The Nun, all belong in the exact same category. That's called fun with the family. It's these little stupid movies you watch with your family. That's what these movies are. If you're still getting jump scared and you're still horrified by boogada 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 boo, I don't know what to tell you. You sleep with a nightlight or something. You sleep with the lights on in general. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you actually live with a family at any point in your life, is it just me, or did, you know, I scare my family members? My family members used to scare me at like 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, you're making a little bit of food, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and like your brother would be standing at the corner and be like, ah! Just jump out just to be an ass, and you do it back, and it's just funny, right? That's what we did. So it's like the jump scares are not exactly going to be the thing that's frightening me. I'm in for quite the fright. Good Lord, and anytime someone talks about this movie, I kid you not, every single time someone talks about this movie, it's the same old dribble. When I hear that song, I get scared. Tiptoe through the window. Oh, I'm gonna queen. Oh, it's like, shut the fuck up. I can't believe it. There's nothing scary about this movie. So if you don't know what the movie is, a father has a son, right? And this son has a father. It's a family. They're in this house, and this son is stupid. For some reason, he likes to just walk around in his dreams. We call it astral projection. And he walked a little too far this time, so he got lost in the abyss of nonsense. So these demons or these body snatchers, they're trying to take over his body, which sounds like a good plot. It's a pretty decent plot. The execution was so poor and it was so boring, and this entire film just like is a gray slodge, like Eric Andre used to say. If it's gray, it's good for you. And not in this sense. This movie was just so boring. Nobody had any character. It's like, who do I care for? The characters that have no personality, or how about the characters that have no personality? Which is the same thing with Annabelle. None of these characters have personality. The Conjuring, Annabelle, The Nun, none of these characters have personality. They're just humans. They are humans. They're humans. It's like, who do I root for? I don't care. I just don't care. And you know what? It turns out the father can astral project. He used to, but then blocked it out of his mind. So he comes to save his kid. And he's like, oh my god, the father's gonna get him. Oh my god, the father. Oh my god, it's your undercarry. He's saving his kid. Like a father should. What am I cheering him on for? That's part of your responsibility. You don't want to protect the kid? Don't knock anybody up. It saves the kid. Comes back out. This is the only part of the movie that keeps out of F tier. He gets taken over by one of the demons, the father. Yeah. gets taken over by one of the demons, and then, he starts choking the chick that, kind of helped them all out, which I thought that was awesome. But at the same point in time, I will say this has kind of bothered me, because personally speaking, I don't need to be taken over by a demon to start beating bitches up, but that's just me. So with that being said, this movie goes in like D tier. Not that good. It's boring, safe, inoffensive, bleh, does nothing new. Garbage. Next, Nightmare on Elm Street. S tier. S tier. It's like the greatest horror movie ever. Nightmare on Elm Street. S tier. Oh, the first Nightmare on Elm Street. Phenomenal. Guys, let me tell you what. Here's what Nightmare on Elm Street is. Which, if you guys don't know the original plot, it's pretty horrifying, by the way. So, Nightmare on Elm Street. This is... The original plot is really bad, by the way. So this was the original plot before they changed it. There's a guy named Freddy Krueger, right? And he was going around, to put it the best way possible, he was getting handsy with people's kids. This is not good at all, right? And then they threw Molotovs at his face, burned him alive. So he comes back as a dream demon, which to me, that's utter bullshit. You can't get revenge on a revenge. You did something, you got your punishment. You can't get, like, revenge on consequences that were well-deserved. But they changed the plot into him just, getting the kids and abducting them, blah, blah, blah. And essentially, here's what happens. He comes back, he's a dream demon, but he's a dream demon where he's pretty much immortal. Like, he is God when you go to sleep. Oh, and that creates this open treasure chest of just creativity, and it's so amazing. Good Lord. Like, again, like, the first, 2 to 3 of them are phenomenal. But this first one is, the all-time, greatest horror movie I personally ever seen. Still, Texas Chainsaw Massacre would also be up there. But, yo, when he sits there and he's walking after this chick and she's having this nightmare, and he starts stretching his arms out to touch the fences, amazing. And when he starts scratching the pipes, it makes that iconic sound. Dude, there were so many iconic scenes in this movie. It's just the entire movie from front to back. When Johnny Depp gets sucked into the bed, he gets spat out on the wall. Oh my Lord. And this movie is just phenomenal. It is phenomenal. You care about the characters. All the characters have personality. You even, you kind of like the guy. You kind of like Freddy too. You kind of like him too. Horrifying individual. Horrible. But you still kind of like him because he has a lot of personality as well. And you're just like, holy shit. And then the ending sequence is crazy. Oh, and then you see the mother when she gets sucked into the bed. And it's just and then the father. Oh. Guys. I can go on all day glazing this movie. I could spend the next hour. I could spend longer glazing the movie than the actual runtime of the film. I can. You just have. If you have not watched it, do yourself the favor. Phenomenal movie. It is the antithesis of horror movies. Phenomenal. So, with that being said, that is tier 1 of this iceberg. That is tier 1. Let's move on to tier 2. Starting off with tier 2, we have The Hills Have Eyes, which, looking at the cover, guys, that is not makeup. He was born that way. That is 100% true. The guy actually looks like a fucking elbow. Or he looks like a lava lamp. He looks like a lot of things, none of them being pleasant. He's a conehead for real. Now, going on from there, I don't know if he should be proud if he got a movie role for being this ugly, or he should be depressed about it. Do with that what you will. But moving on to the movie itself, it ain't great, and it ain't bad either. It's a baseline, solid film. It's alright. If anybody else tells you different, they're lying. It is one of these family stranded. What do we do? And they start getting attacked. There you go. How many times have you seen this plot? And I don't care if this was the first one to do it. This one's the second one to do it. I don't care. Okay, I've seen the plot 1,000 times. They don't do anything really interesting here, except the dog gets its own POV, and the dog is kind of like a hero in this movie, where it's from the point of view of the dog. He shoves one of these uglies off a cliff, and he attacks another one, and it's oh my god, the dog. But then they drag it, where the dog is just doing too much, and it kind of becomes silly at a point. But the only other thing that's worth noting, dog, yo, the father gets his ass whooped, okay? I've never seen a character in a movie get stuck like this. So the father, he's going back to the gas station. Mind you, they're stranded. So he grabs a revolver, starts working his way back. Starts going back to the van. So in the middle of the night, so these uglies, they're chasing him. Starts licking off shots, right? Scared. And he's so exhausted, he starts to have a heart attack. So this guy's having a heart attack. He gets taken by the uglies, gets his ass whooped, gets crucified, and then lit on fire. I was like, damn. They stuck it to his ass. Like, yo, they was whooping him. Okay, they left no stone unturned when it came to the word pain. They beat this man down like 5 different ways. I could not believe it. Oh God, like, yo, he got it, yo. They worked him, man. Worked him like an overtime job. So, with that being said, the movie ain't great. It ain't bad either. It's alright. Is it a must-watch? Not really. This is like a C-tier movie. It's alright. So with that being said, we're going to move on to the next one. Hostel. So if you don't know what this movie is, there's a couple of guys, right? And they're getting out the U.S. And they meet up with this dude named Ollie. He's kind of like the tour guide here. And they're going to Europe to slang some booty. The reason why this is because one of the guys, he's going through a breakup. He's having a tough time. And so they're going to Europe. They're going to clubs. They're having fun. And it's actually really enjoyable to watch at this point. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's having a good time. They go to a hostel, which I guess is like these hotels in Europe. And essentially what happens is they get nabbed up. And when they get nabbed up, one of the dudes, y'all, they get them, okay? They start just like tearing them to shreds. And that's what they're doing to these other people because it turns out this is a scheme of elitists where these people have millions and millions and millions of dollars. And they're part of this elite hunting party where they can kind of buy humans and do whatever they want to them. And it's a horrifying thing. And he finds out that they did this to all of his friends. They're doing it to people in this place. And at the end of it, he gets snapped up too. He gets caught up in it. He starts to escape. And he actually saves one of these Asian chicks. And this part pissed me off. He saves this Asian chick. And then like 20 minutes later, she throws herself in front of a train to show her fucking gratitude. What was that? Like, there was no point in that. That genuinely pissed me off, man. That was a part of the movie that genuinely boiled my blood. It was like, dude, he just saved you. Like, okay, he left the facility. He goes back to save the bitch. And then she does that. That movie would have been so much better if he never went back, y'all. If he never went back, movie would have been so much better. Or if she never did that and she wore like an eye patch for the rest of her life and she was like Sagat from fucking Street Fighter. Would have been so much better. Yeah. And then, like, yo, oh my lord. And, yo, the only thing I will say is towards the end, it was kind of cool, the redemption arc, where he gets revenge for one of his friends. But other than that, man, the movie's really good, by the way. It's really good. I would say it's one of the better movies on this Iceberg. So I would actually, personally, it's a lower B-tier movie. I think it's a pretty good movie. I would recommend you watch it. I would say at the beginning of the movie, and the middle's a lot better. Just wasn't a big fan of that one scene when he goes back to save that chick just for her to throw herself in front of a train. Moving on. House of a Thousand Corpses, aka House of a Thousand Asses. This movie is horrible. It fails on all regards. It's terrible. It's abysmal. It's an absolute mockery, a parody of what it should have never been, that being a movie. This movie is such a big laughing joke, and when I put it in F tier, rightfully so, and I threw that on my Instagram story, oh my god, I was getting flooded with messages from all these gothic and alternative chicks that were like, no, this movie's S tier. Oh, no, it's not. Welcome to delusional land. Now it's time to wake up to reality. This movie sucks. It's like an episode of Hoarders. There's so much trash to dig through, I don't even know where to start. So let's start with this. Let's look at the plot. What's the plot? Check it out. There's a group that goes to a gas station. They leave the gas station. After doing that, they pick up a hitchhiker. This hitchhiker leads them towards a family of crazies, and it turns out the person at the gas station, the hitchhiker, and the family of crazies are all interlocked into one big crazy group of people. Sound familiar? That's Texas Chainsaw fucking Massacre, except it was done 1,000 times better. This was a waste of time. It sucked, it sucked, it sucked, it sucked. And you're probably like, how does it suck even more than it actually already sucks? Well, let me tell you. For some reason, Rob Zombie has to put his wife in everything, and the entire movie, she's acting like a fucking 5-year-old that's having a sugar rush off of candy canes mid-fucking Christmas. She's like, settle your ass down. Okay? Like this weird, like, parody Harley Quinn thing that's going on. I don't know what's going on. She's lost it. Whole entire movie. Like she has ADHD times 5. I couldn't believe it. Whatever medication she needs, give her that and then double the dose. Okay, so there's that just makes this movie so unwatchable and so insufferable. Oh, and the plot just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So they go to this family. They meet the crazies. And then one of them gets turned into a mermaid. I don't know. I don't know. And the other people who were not turned into mermaids, one of them turned into a clown chick. She's thrown in a basement. The other one's thrown in a barn. And the police are like, where the fuck? And of course, all these crazy rednecks, they're so good they can outwit the dang police. And they put the police down out of their misery. And then there's this giant ritual where they throw them in this next to a cemetery, dunk them in the water lake, and then there's zombies, and then they survive the zombies into catacombs. Take that with your son on eBay for $2.99. They survive the catacombs. They meet Dr. Satan, which was the original plot on why they went to that gas station place or whatever. Amusement, gas station, whatever. Meet the Dr. Satan guy. And by meet, it was only the chick, which I don't know which chick this is because her and this other actress look exactly the same. You can't even tell the difference between them. I'm getting confused with them. And you know what's crazy? I actually watched several reviews before making this short one inside of this Iceberg. And would you believe everybody says the same thing? Nobody knows who's who. Horrible. Horrible. Oh my god. I know why some of you love this movie, because when you see Rob Zombie's wife, you're like, oh, that's me core. That is me core. Me core. That's what it is. And if that's you, then stay away from me. Good lord. Oh, this movie sucked. The only thing about this movie that is like redeemable would be like Sid Haig, which is Spalding. He was a really good character. Good character in a horrible movie. This movie sucked. I wish I could unwatch it. F tier. The Human Centipede. This movie is nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be. It sounds horrible on paper. It sounds horrible in videos, but if you actually watch it, it is nowhere near as disturbing as some people make it out to be. Let me tell you what, it's kind of like a roller coaster. There's a huge, huge buildup. But before it actually drops, the damn thing breaks down and you get this announcement. Everybody please exit the roller coaster and use the emergency stairs. So you just gotta waddle your ass down these emergency stairs, all embarrassing. And it's just not that bad because you sit there and you're like, oh my god, what's this Human Centipede gonna look like? Oh my god, how bad is it gonna be? And then when you finally see it, you're like, it's just not that bad. It's kind of like Training Day with the Human Centipede and stuff like that. And it's like, not that bad. It's actually just not that bad. And then the cops come sniffing around, and of course he's outwitting the cops, that being the doctor, up until he's not outwitting the cops. And one thing I have to say, now this is low-hanging fruit. This is a gimme joke. I know, I love race jokes, and I love culture jokes. But I just gotta get this off my chest, people. Of course the only Oriental guy takes his own life. Of course that happens. Which ends up leaving the head of the centipede no longer with us, so that means the other two are stranded there. But then the doctor also passes away, and so do the cops inside the house. So it leaves just these two chicks, but then the best friend goes, and then like you just get this last survivor, that being the main character, and she's stuck as like the only surviving member of the centipede, you know, the middle. Everybody else in the house is gone. But so the two cops are gone. So with that being said, you know that new officers are going to be sent there. You know, they're going to be calling for backup. They're, hey, you still there? Still there? Still there? You're not there? Okay, we're coming. So this chick's going to be completely fine. I mean, her breath's probably going to smell like butt for like a month. But nothing some tomato juice can't fix. So with that being said, I will state that this movie's D tier. It's D tier. It's not that good. It's not even alright. It's just like, bleh. It's not bad. It's bleh. This movie puts the mid in Midsummer. This movie is so mid, I would not search it out if I were you. Now, some people say it's an awful movie. Some people say it's a masterpiece. I'm the guy who says it's just mid. It's neither. It is not a horrible movie. It's not a great movie. It's not phenomenal. It is just mid. Okay, so essentially, here's what happens in Midsummer. This chick, right? Her sister's a nut job, and well, she doesn't exactly have it all upstairs her damn self, but her sister gives the entire family the axe. And she's sitting there all worried about her sister just to find out that happened. Lost her entire family. And here's the thing. In the beginning of the movie, if you pay attention, she opens up a cabinet and starts swallowing pills. These are like anti-anxiety medication, which is like take as per use. And here's the thing. If her sister's a nut job, you know that these type of medical and mental disorders are also genetic. So I'm going off to the assumption that she has a lot of stuff going on as well. But moving on, the boyfriend, which she's very clingy for, and she's like losing her head, obviously, he's going to be going to the other side of the planet to write some research project with some friends, blah, blah, blah. And it turns out these people are like some ancient religion and group, and they're doing like these old ancient stuff where they're jumping off a cliff so they don't get old, and all this other stuff. And it frightens the group. They're like, oh my god, they're all scared. And some of the friends are getting a little bit too snoopy. They start looking around for their own good. So they start getting the axe from the group. One of them ends up being part of a plant. The other one ends up like being thrown inside of a shed, just like hung up with string. Oh, it's horrible stuff. But the movie is so slow. Oh my lord, the movie is so slow. It's like watching a turtle race on the fucking moon. It is so slow. I'm sitting there like, wow, I can actually count the seconds. And it just leaves you like, whoa. And then when something does happen, it's not exactly something that blows you away. And then there's no character that I really liked. I wasn't a fan of anybody in the movie. And then the chick is just like, wow. She's just so blissfully like, the whole fucking time. And it's like, whoa, get it together. And then she finds a place of belonging with this group. And here's the part that pisses me off. Oh my god, this part. So essentially, here's what happens towards the end. All the friends got the axe except the couple. Now, what happens is like the boyfriend gets hit in the face with like magic dust. So he's all looped out of his head. And he's forced to like fornicate with like this like ginger. And he's like all in there spreading her open and wah, 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 wah. And like a chump, eh? Like a chump, eh? Like a chump. He don't really got many moves. Like for me, he should have spit in her mouth, pulled her hair, smacked her, gagged her, but he ain't doing none of that. Nothing special. There's like a grandmother helping him. Y'all would have been like, yo, get your hands off me, yo, creepy bitch. I would have given a back elbow to the face. I was like, yeah, it was weird. I don't want that. And there was like a whole group of women like, oh, singing. Like, oh, shut up. I'm trying to get this down, right? And while this is happening, the girlfriend sees, but he's under the influence. And then she like chooses him because she wins like this stupid like ceremony. She gets like flowers on her forehead, and then she chooses him to get like thrown in like a fire. Great. Betrayed. The great betrayal. By the way, she cheated on him earlier in the movie. Just like she was like making out with some dude, like not even 10 minutes prior to him throwing him in this big fire. What a gal. Oh, but it was just a kiss. You know what? That was a domino effect. You know, I don't get even, I get over. So if you want to go ahead and kiss him on his lips, then I'll kiss her on her lips. And I ain't talking about her mouth. Anyway, with that being said, girl power, am I right, my feminist? That's what the ending felt like. That's exactly what the ending felt like. Burn your boyfriend alive if you don't like him. Okay. He didn't do nothing. He was under the influence, man. He didn't do nothing. Listen, when someone throws magic dust in your face, I don't think you deserve to burn them. But with that being said, the movie's mid. Not exactly horrible. Not exactly great. I would never watch it again. And if you want to watch it, go ahead and waste your time. I don't know, it's your time, not mine. I got better things to do. I take that with you. Let's sell it on eBay for $1.99. Oh, that was a false one, huh? That was a reverse babe. Oh God, I don't know what that was. I don't know what that. Next movie, Saw. Now, there's 10 plus movies inside this franchise, and one of them has Chester Bennington, which Chester Bennington is the greatest lead vocalist of any band ever, and Linkin Park is the greatest band ever, and any single negative comment about Linkin Park inside of the comment section down below will equal an instant ban, and every single night you need to pray to Hybrid Theory and Meteor until the earth stops spinning. That's a command from the Raven. Let me tell you what, guys, this movie is the most unrealistic inside the entire franchise that is comprised of 10 plus films. Why is that? Is it because he was playing possum on the floor the entire movie? He gets up, peels off the makeup, and it turns out he was alive? No. Is it because he's a mastermind? He's moving all these pieces at the same time while avoiding the police? No. What makes this movie so unrealistic was the fact that the main character, he cuts off his foot to reunite with his wife. Guys, I can name 1,000 men right now who would cut off both of their feet to get away from a bitch. Are you kidding me? No man would cut off his foot to reunite with his wife. And here's the part that pisses me off. He was stuck in a saw trap because he cheated on his wife. So now he has to lose a foot? What is this, fucking Sharia law? Makes no sense. And here's the thing, if we don't know what this Jigsaw guy is, he's like the arbiter of what's good and what's bad. So he's the one, he's like the mastermind, he's God here. And if he deems you not so good, you'll end up in one of his contraptions. These things get more brutal as the series goes on. I mean, some of these people are sitting there in like a chair and they have to like put like a squish machine on their head. He's like, how much can your pumpkin take? It's like, not much. It's a hydraulic press. It's insane. But essentially, that's what the entire franchise is inside this movie. Guy cheated on his wife, and the other guy's a photographer. It's stupid. But let me tell you what, guys. I gotta be honest. The pacing of the movie, the psychological horror behind it, and the fact that you're slowly spoon-fed information made it so enjoyable. And my favorite scene was when he threw him the wallet, and he takes it out, and he sees that his family's abducted. He's like, oh, and he doesn't want to say nothing. I was like, whoa. Oh, and there's a psychology between the two of them, where they're all, like, both hiding information. He's hiding more information than him. Oh. You need to watch the movie. If you have not, you need to watch the movie. It is a great movie. Genuinely enjoyed it. S tier. I don't know what to say. I gotta be honest. It was a movie, right? So let me break it down for you. This guy, he's running a podcast with his friend, and he's trying to get this story, and the story falls through because the guy he was getting a story on passes away. He takes himself out. So he has to find this news story while he's leaking his lizard, and when he finds this news story, he reaches out to him, goes to like some mansion in the middle of nowhere, gets sedated, and he gets like slowly operated on and turned into a walrus. And it's like, I don't... And yeah, he's a walrus, and like his girlfriend at the time, and like his best friend are like looking for him. And she's throwing it back to his best friend too. And then the guy he's having, like, who turned him into a walrus, they have like a final showdown, and they're like bumping bellies. And he's like, show me your animal instincts. And he finally like transforms into a walrus mentally. He's like, he goes crazy. And my favorite part is in the movie, he's like in this platform that's surrounded by water. And when he went inside of it, there's like other walrus bodies down there. It's like the first time he's done it. And then he's like, at the end of it, it's all said and done. His, like, I guess ex-girlfriend and his best friend are like looking at him at a zoo, and they bring him like big fishes to eat every now and then. This is the silliest shit I've ever seen. I was cracking up throughout most of the movie. This movie was more of a comedy than a disturbing movie. I thought it was very funny. For that alone, it's got to be C tier. It's alright. I would watch it. It's pretty funny in my opinion. Actually, really funny. Just what's going on is absolutely ridiculous. Check it out, guys. You should check it out. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. One of the greatest horror films to ever be made, ever. Let me tell you what, people. Wow. Grimy, nasty, dirty, sticky. Guys, this movie is incredible. A tier to S tier. This is one of the greatest horror movies to ever be conceived. Ever. It is so dirty, so dingy, so nasty in so many ways, okay? A group of friends, they're going out to Texas, and they stop by, and they end up picking up a hitchhiker after stopping off by a gas station, okay? And when they do this, this guy's a nut job, a complete nut job, complete wacko, and he grabs a blade, and he's like, he starts tripping out, right? And they kick him out. Dude, this guy's a nut job. And when they do this, they keep driving off. They go to this house that they were planning on going to. And essentially, they end up leaving, walking away, and they run into Leatherface and that crazy family, which the hitchhiker is a part of. And so is the gas station worker. And it turns out it's just one big group of these cannibal crazies. And when they're over there, they get picked off one by one. And it's in the nastiest, most dingiest way possible. Just like a whack over the head, and that's it. Pick her up, put her on a hook. It's like, it's nothing dramatic. You know what I'm saying? It's like cut, it's dry, it's to the point. And I think that's what makes this movie so horrifying. They don't try to be over the top. It doesn't try to be like, whoa. It's about it all. It just happens. You know what I'm saying? And this big guy, he's a brute. He's like a 7-foot behemoth. Oh, and he's out of his mind. Everybody's out of their mind. And I would say that the final scene, it drags on for so long. It's so exhausting. It's like a 30-minute run chase scene, and he's screaming and, you know, kicking. And I think for me personally, some people say it's amazing because it's so exhausting and so horrifying. For me personally, it just went on for a little bit too long. One part I didn't understand was at the end with the truck driver when he jumps out of the truck to get away from Leatherface. Like, motherfucker, just stay in the truck. I didn't understand that. And one thing I will say about the movie, dude, Jerry is awesome. Jerry's one of the guys who's part of the group. He's such a prick. What a prick! What a prick! My absolute favorite character, like any horror movie ever, would be Jerry. He's such a prick, man. Oh, he treats the guy in the wheelchair like absolute human trash, and it's funny. He just keeps picking on him. My favorite part. And essentially that's what it is. These guys, they run into a crazy family, and they get eaten. Well, some of them do, or they get more like disemboweled, getting prepared for it. So with that being said, that is the end of the second tier. We're going to be moving on to the third one. So the first movie out for tier 3, we have Shoujo Subakase. And when it comes down to it, it absolutely pissed me off, and I'm going to tell you why. So this movie opens up with this little girl, and she's selling flowers for her sick mother, which sounds so sweet in concept, so considerate. But you know what? Let's be a realist here, guys. Let's call it for what it is. No matter how many flowers you sell, you're not going to be able to afford any medication. You're not going to be able to afford any hospital bills. It does not matter if your mother has the common cold or double butt cancer. You're selling flowers. Guys, what are you making? Like a dime? You're not making nothing. And it's flowers. I went outside and saw 200 flowers this morning. You might as well start selling fucking rocks. You're a kid. Open up a lemonade stand. Or you're in Japan. Open up a green tea stand. And the point is, guys, no one's buying the flowers. So she goes back home, and guess what? Her sick mother's no longer with her. She's worm food. Food for the rats. And she freaks out, goes back outside, and there was this grown man who was like, yo, what's up? Yo, you want supervised or what? Guy. And he takes her into this circus. This circus is full of freaks. Absolute freaks. Horrifying stuff. You get this guy who had no arms. Another guy who had no arms and legs. The scariest member of them all, it was this chick who knew how to read and write. And what happens is they start mistreating this little girl. They treat her like she's trash. And what happens is, after treating her like trash, this other guy, right, he joins his circus. He joins his traveling circus. And he's like this little dude, but he can fit himself in a bottle. Okay, he can fit himself. That's what he can do, because he can like atomically manipulate himself, but he can also manipulate other individuals atomically, and it's very scary. And he can switch you back. So it's this part of the movie where he gets pissed off at this crowd. And this is very important. I need to talk about this. He gets pissed off at this crowd, and he starts like switching their like atomic structure, and he starts making them big, like making them deformed, growing too. It's going crazy. And while this is happening, it's like flickering lights, and it's flickering pictures in the background. If you pay attention to some of these pictures, it shows like hospital pictures of like real pictures, by the way. Very disgusting, disturbing pictures of like it's like a zoomed up picture with like a baby with like a shrunken head, or like Siamese twins, and it's just disgusting. And I don't know, a lot of people probably didn't catch that, but it's flickered so fast, right? And I went by it, and I was like, whoa, what was that? And I went back and I saw it, and I was like, oh geez, Lord. And I think this shouldn't be in tier 3. I think it should be lower, because that was genuinely disgusting. I was like, what's that? Like maybe tier 5, tier 6. Disgusting. But essentially, here's what happens. This guy, he starts falling in love with the girl. Do with that information what you will, guys. This guy's like 42, okay? This is no good, okay? So he wants to run off with her, in which he does. And when he goes to this different town, he saves her from the mistreatment. He saves her from the circus. Goes to this town. Yo, he hits this corner. No good. Right at the end of the movie, this other guy just puts some pokes on him and leaves him right there in the dirt. It's like, whoa. And now this little girl, after all this mistreatment, after her mother passes away, after all this stuff, she's now stuck in the middle of nowhere. Typical Japanese manga anime stuff where everything is just sad from the beginning, sad to the end. No. I can't stand that. I just can't stand that in Japanese endings. Every single piece of Japanese media is just sad from beginning to end. Like, damn, where's the happy moments? Lord, it's like the happy was just like a flicker in the sky. Shout out to Chester Bennington again for one more light. Anyway, with that being said, this movie sucks. I mean, it's bad. It's just bad. Oh, anime is just horrible too. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. No, actually, I lied. That's my fact on it. That's a fact. Everything you're watching in this video is a fact. This movie sucks. Next, Tetsuo the Iron Man. This movie is incredibly beloved by so many people. Every time people talk about it, they hold it in high regard for its body horror. So here's what the movie is. You get this guy, and he has this iron bar, and he drags it across his teeth, which I'll tell you right then and there, guys, that made my skin crawl, made my fingers not feel so good. You know, you just want to bite your nails. It had one of those noises, and he jams it into his thigh, and he starts running in the street, and this couple hits him with a car, and they ditch the body. Horrible, horrible stuff. So when that happens, this guy wakes up and he has this metal pimple on his face. Like, what is this? He tries to cover it up. Okay? And as he's covering it up, he just slowly and keeps on transforming into like a robot mechanical mutant guy. And he gets booster feats. Like he starts skidding around town. He starts zipping and zooming and shit. He got rocket fuel coming out of his heels. Crazy stuff. And he goes to drill his girlfriend. And he actually drills her. I'm like, he actually gets a giant drill protruding out of his waist. Looks like prototype Jack's fucking arm from Tekken. And it's like, oh my god, what's going on? And she's no more. It's a giant drill like this big. What do you expect was gonna happen? And then he finally transforms into like this full robot mutant guy. Okay, he looks like a 7-year-old playing in a junkyard. And remember that guy from the beginning of the movie? He's in his final form too. And they have this final showdown. It just like, goes from the little apartment to like a warehouse to over here, over there. They're fighting. It's like a Dragon Ball fight. Okay, and then they absorb each other, like transform into one gigantic conglomerate that looks like this giant spit up chewed piece of water bubble gum, and they're like one with each other. They're the Metal Man. Yeah. And here's one thing I didn't understand by the end of the movie, if you've seen it. Where the fuck did the Uzi come from? You know what I'm talking about? Like they're just like this giant wad of bubble gum, whatever. And you just get this little Uzi sticking out the hole. Where did that come from? Was that just in the budget? They just had money for that? Like, throw it in there. Looks cool. Where did that come from? And they're just like going down the entire street and they're like, this whole world will be turned to rust. So it's going to be turned into a really garbage, overrated game full of hackers? Guys, that's not good, okay? So, with that being said, I never played Rust either, and I'm not going to. I'm too busy, like, I don't know, talking to women. So, with that being said, let me tell you what, the movie's alright. It's alright. I think it has very interesting ideas, just poor execution. And it's very, very silly. It's so silly. What am I supposed to do when this guy's sitting there? This giant drill's just coming out. What am I supposed to think? It's silly, guys. Absolutely silly. But with that being said, it's an alright movie. Next. So this is the clip. Let me tell you what about this movie. Absolutely sucks. This movie is the most boring one on this entire Iceberg. It's so boring. Oh my gosh. I had to come back to this movie over 30 times. I'm gonna be 100%. No, probably around 40 to 50 times. I could only watch like 5 minutes. I could only watch it in small pieces. It took me around 4 days to actually watch this movie to completion. It was so boring. I can't even explain to you. I would rather watch a caterpillar fucking metamorphosize. This movie was so boring. It was so boring. It was so boring. Okay. This was like boredom. So here's what happens. You get like 50-something schoolgirls, 50 in the beginning, then they say 54. They jump in front of a train, blah, 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 blah. And everybody's like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. And a whole bunch of other kids are doing it too. A bunch of teenagers jumping off of buildings. Police investigation. Turns out there's a club of people who are doing this through like subliminal messaging. And like, it's just, dude, it's so boring. Guys, don't watch it. It's not like, dude, this is so boring. Oh, wow. Whoa. I won't forget it. Yo. You ever heard of coffee? Let me tell you what, people. You ever heard of coffee and you get these things called espresso? So when you get a coffee, I learned this, right? You get this thing, they call it an espresso shot, which is supposed to be like dense coffee that's like 30 times stronger than coffee. You're only supposed to have a shot of it. I drank an entire cup of espresso. The whole thing was like, I don't know how many milligrams of caffeine. I was sitting there and I was seeing colors I wasn't supposed to. Okay, I was in the 4th dimension. Whole time. I put on this movie. Oh, wow. Oh, I couldn't even yawn. My yawn left the room. The crickets in the back were like, yo, fuck chirping. Yo, out of here. This was just so bad. This was just, wow. Dude, oh, what? Just don't watch it. Don't watch it. Good. This is not even F tier. This is like negative. This is like bad tiers. It's a bad word. This movie's a bad word. Really bad word. I can't say this word on YouTube. It's a bad word. Bad word. Horrible movie, guys. Don't watch this. This is a garbage. It's filth. It's horrible. It's not even like disturbing. It's like, I'm young. I'm yawning talking about it. There's your evidence. Next movie, Cannibal Holocaust. Let me tell you what, people. Now, this movie, pretty disturbing. I'll call it for what it is, guys. The last, 10-15 minutes was hard to watch. Wow. This was pretty brutal. So, essentially, here's what's happening. This team, they go out, they find this uncontacted tribe, and they're doing horrible stuff to this tribe. They were burning down their houses. They were just mistreating them. Doing horrible stuff. And at a point, this tribe has enough, and they start fighting back. But this footage is lost, so you get this other team of people who retrieve this footage, and now they're watching back everything that happened. That's essentially the entire plot. And everything that's documented with this footage is just like, wow. I don't know how they got that person on that big stick coming out the mouth. I don't know how they did that. The effects on that was so surreal. And I was sitting there, I was like, how did they do that? That was ridiculous, right? You just put someone on a spit and they're upright. Don't know how they did that. A lot of brutal scenes in here. For me personally, the hardest scene was the last 10 minutes. When they get that white chick and they start ripping on the dude. I was like, whoa, that was tough. That was tough. For me, I'll be honest. I'll be 100% honest, y'all. I'm keeping it gangster for a minute. I had to pause it and shut it down for a minute. I was like, you know what I'm saying? It was getting hard to watch. This is genuinely a disturbing movie. I was like, wow, this is actually a disturbing movie. Oh, no shitting around. Hey, this ain't no bubblegum Rusty, huh? If you know what that is, you know what that is. Shout to Action 52. There ain't no bubblegum Rusty. So, in my opinion, this is S tier. This is an S tier film. This is genuinely, actually disturbing. Okay, so if you want to check it out, you can do that. Very disturbing movie. A Serbian film, and let me tell you what, guys, I saw this movie when I was 12 years old because a kid named Chris at my lunch table came up to me. He said I should watch it. He recommended it to me. Gave it a look. Guys, don't recommend it at all. F tier movie. Let me tell you what, it's about a guy who's an adult star. Kind of down on his luck, but he knows a chick who knows a guy who can get him a lot of monies. And he gets a phenomenal contract. Guys, it wasn't a good contract. It was a horrible contract. And the whole entire point of the movie is he gets all this money, but he has to go onto these sets and he doesn't know. It's all random. He doesn't know what's there. It's a mystery. And they get progressively worse. Every film that he's in gets progressively worse. Then it just keeps getting bad. And you're like, wow, that was bad. And then it just gets worse. And wow, it ain't gonna get worse than that, is it? And then it just gets worse. And well, it's not gonna get worse than that, is it? And then it just gets worse. It was literally made. This movie was made specifically to push boundaries of what you can actually put into a movie. It was released in America too, and that's just pretty much the movie. It's just all bad. It's just all bad. Guys, this is just like the worst thing ever. Gotta be honest. When it comes to movies, it's like the worst actual movie, like an actual movie, if you could call it that. It's horrifying. I don't recommend it. I think it's F tier. No, it's an F tier movie. It was pretty much just made purely for shock. It's trash. Next, Pink Flamingos. Guys, this movie is quite the watch. You get a fat chick named Divine, and she's a criminal that's on the run, and she's the dirtiest woman who's ever dirtied. Now, the problem with this is she runs into a dirty family, and they're going back and forth to see who's more dirty. And they're going like, I'm Dirty Dan. No, I'm Dirty Dan. No, I'm Dirty Dan. No, I'm Dirty Dan. So they send this chick a lot of shit in the mail as a declaration of war. And here's the part of the movie I didn't understand. She gets mad when the mailman delivers this log of poop to her trailer. She then tells him that this is no address. She doesn't want to receive mail. She doesn't want to receive gifts. No one should be there. They're completely confidential. Only for 20 or 30 minutes later inside the movie, she throws an entire party with 50 to 60 people invited. So is it confidential? Is it not fucking confidential? Let's make up our minds here. And then on top of that, during this party, you get a guy who puts his heels behind his head. It is just full gold sea. It's just winking his brown eyes 5 minutes straight. Okay? If that part isn't confusing enough, they're wizards. There's wizardry in this movie. Divine goes over this family's house, which this family is getting women pregnant in like their basements. They're in the basement. getting them pregnant to sell it to lesbians. That's their the occupation. Okay? Lesbian baby market is the occupation. And Divine goes over to the house while they're gone. And what she does is she like rubs her body all over the couch. She gives it her essence or something like that. And then the couches reject the other family, and it's exactly what it sounds like. They go to sit on the couch, and like the couch like throws them off, like a Pee-wee's Playhouse couch. Like it's actually like a conscious couch, and it like they lost ownership. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And then there's like a final scene where they burn down her house, and then she catches them, pulls them back to the burnt RV shack place, gets a news crew, ties them to a tree, does that to their face, sell it on eBay for $7.99, and puts them out of their misery. And she proves that she's the dirtiest woman who's ever dirtied. Now you're probably waiting for a rating. I don't have one for you. I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck I just watched. Next movie, Human Centipede 2, the sequel. This one's 1,000 times worse than the first one, and this one's actually genuinely disturbing, unlike the first one. So here's what happens. This is in the universe of Human Centipede, and the first Human Centipede is fake. Never happened, okay? So that's the whole plot. The first Human Centipede is just a movie, and in Human Centipede 2, you get this fat, nasty, greaseball, hairless chimpanzee, mega autism having parking lot manager janitor who's obsessed with the first Human Centipede. He watches it 1,000 times a day. He sits there, makes little notebooks about him, and he takes pictures of his screenshots. He loves this movie. He's obsessed, completely and utterly obsessed, and he wants to make the Mega Centipede. Not just 3 people. We're not talking about 6. We're talking about 10 plus individuals. He wants to make the Super Centipede, right? So he slowly, over time, collects people one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, inside of this basement place, like a warehouse. And yo, some of these scenes are really grueling. This part, he's like knocking their teeth out, and the part with the tendons, and it's a really, really grueling movie. Oh my god, yo, there was this one scene, really, oh my gosh. Whoa, it just hit me. It's a really, really bad scene. Oh my god. It's really bad. If you watch the movie, I think you know what I'm gonna tell you. So it's a pregnant chick, right? And she's like making her escape. Well, she does escape. And while this guy's chasing her, he chases her into a car. And under stress, the baby comes out under stress. And the baby just happens to land right where the pedal of the car is in order to like go into reverse. And let me tell you what, she puts the car in reverse. She hits that pedal. She drives away. Oh god, it's really bad. It's like, I gotta be honest, when I saw that scene, I audibly gasped. I was like, oh, it's like, whoa, whoa, it's like, wow, wow, oh, what was that? What was that? Was that necessary? But yeah, and you know what's even more messed up? Okay, it's not even more messed up, but like the actor from the first movie, because mind you, the first movie's fiction inside this universe, she just gets recaptured again for this one. So it's like she gets double centipeded, but like this time she gets it for realsies. And God, yeah, it's Human Centipede too. I guess. Don't look at me. Beats here. Don't look at me, Beats. Don't look at me. Salo War, 120 Days of Sodom, the most overrated movie to ever be made. Let me tell you what, this movie shouldn't even be here. I saw like 1,000 reviews on this when I was like 12, 13, 14, 15. I've seen so many YouTubers review this, and I've seen a scene or two, you know, with the eyeball scene, and there was that one scene where he was like, say I can't eat rice like this. I can't eat rice like this. And he's like, well, then eat shit. I think those were like in fetus munches. And the movie, from what it's just so over. It's no point. It's pointless. It's pointless. It's so horrible. So essentially, the whole part of the movie is like a whole bunch of teenagers. They get rounded up, and it's like a fascist Italy. And they're like, oh, you know, the war's coming to an end. Let's just be as disgusting as humanly possible. And through all the reviews I've seen, it's just nothing special. It's nothing crazy. Nothing horrifying. It's just nothing. It's just a big nothing burger that has been just like pushed to believe by other individuals. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's pretty much only because the director, he got took out. Yeah, they got that director like 2 weeks before it actually dropped. He got took out by somebody, right? And that's just about it. So it's more like the spirit of how horrible it is, rather than actually how horrible the movie really is. With that being said, it's like, what, D tier? F tier? If the most horrifying part of the movie is the eyeballs theme, then you're way in over your head when it comes to this Iceberg. You're way in over your head. Don't even bother. Next movie. Martyrs. Now, this movie is absolutely amazing. Let me tell you what went down. You get this group, and it's a whole bunch of elitists, and what they're doing is they're nabbing people up, one after another, after another, after another, and they're putting them through absolute hell. And the reason why they're doing this is because it turns out the more punishment you go through, the closer to the afterlife you get. So your body remains here as your soul travels on, but you kiss death and come back, and you need to relay that message so they can understand what goes on. They've done this multiple times, but nobody's been able to relay that message. So the movie opens up with this girl who's escaping her captivity. She goes back, gets revenge. She ends up just breaking psychologically. And her friend is the one who gets captured in her place. And good lord, the things they do to her, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And then there's other victims that you find throughout the movie who is, it's like, wow. And she looked like Cyclops from X-Men. They gave her this big visor, and then they nailed it to the top of it. Guys, it was really bad. And then, they grab her, and they turn her into meat for Mortal Kombat. Okay, you see nothing but straight muscle. They turn her. It's really bad, guys. It's really bad. Now, essentially, what happens is, this chick, she's the first person to relay the message. Now, this is my favorite part of the whole movie. So you sit there, waiting the entire movie to figure it out. She relays the message. They call up everybody. They're like, yo, we know what's on the other side. And before it's revealed, the woman who got the message, the head honcho of the whole operation, goes to the bathroom, calls it quits. She takes herself out. And then they sit there and you're like, wow, huh. So now you don't know what the message is. You don't know. That's how the movie ends. So you kind of sat there thinking either it was so bad she couldn't live with it, or it was so beautiful she couldn't wait to see it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because if it's so ugly, don't you think you would want to try to stay away from it as long as possible? I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. What's your interpretation at the end of the movie, if you've seen it? Now, for me, awesome movie. I thought it was phenomenal. You know what? Yeah, gonna stick with it. A tier. If you say it's S tier, I can't, because, it's Nightmare on Elm Street. It ain't Nightmare on Elm Street good, but it is a damn good movie. Next. This was amazing. Absolutely phenomenal. Last time I saw something this beautiful, your mother was fresh out the shower. Let me tell you what, I feel like Mark David Chapman reading Catcher in the Rye for the first time. This spoke to me on a level that no childhood counselor could. This was a masterpiece. S tier. Guys, before I spend the next 25 minutes glazing this movie, let me tell you what. Quick summary. A guy named Jack, he's an architect, but a failed one. So I guess you could call him a engineer. If you watch the movie, right? And essentially, he butchers women. Pretty cool, right? But the thing is, it's art. It's art. It is art. And he has OCD, and there's a lot of things that are just overlapping. There's just so much to take from this movie. And one of my favorite parts, one of my many, many favorite parts, is the fact that during the second time he's doing this, right? The second situation, he goes back to the house time and time and time and time and time again, because he keeps thinking, like, he has this OCD, so he thinks that there's, he's leaving a trail. So he moves the furniture, he moves the table, he moves paintings, just to make sure he can't get caught. Just for by the end of the movie, he's sitting there trying to get caught. He takes this chick's chest and puts it on a cop car and just walks away while the cop is no longer than a block away. This guy who's so devoided, so cold, so callous, has no character, somehow oozes character, right? This monster, he's an animal. And my favorite part is how much of a beast he is. How much of a blank palette that he's going on to try to learn empathy. Shout out to iDubbbz. And by the end of the movie, he sheds a tear. Oh, one last part that's amazing was when he goes to hell. Okay, he goes to hell. And he's left with this idea, and it's proposed to him. It's a broken bridge. Okay. And he can either go up these stairs and go to a plot of hell that is reserved for him. And this plot of hell's not so bad compared to what else is in Dante's Inferno. Or he can climb this wall to get to the other side of the bridge, thus getting him out of hell. But if he falls down this wall, he will go down to the deepest layer of hell. So it's gambling everything. Would you rather be content with what you have, or gamble what you have for greener grass, knowing that if you don't get it, you'll be left in misery? Oh! Another part of the movie that I absolutely love is that he's just unable to build the house. He can't. But by the end of the movie, Jack does build this house. And as he butchers his women, it's his art. So he's able to use the art of these bodies to build this house, something he wasn't able to do prior. And it's just absolutely amazing. It's an absolutely amazing movie. It is S tier. It is beautiful. It's wonderful. And it is as perfect of a movie as it gets. You need to watch it. Now we are done with tier 3. That is the end of the first 3 tiers of this iceberg. Oh, guys, I've been working on this since April, May, June, July, August. 5 months. 5 entire months I've been working on this, guys. I put 400, 500, 600 hours into this. This was a lot of work, having to watch those movies several times over. Editing, everything. Good Lord. This was a lot. And that was just for the first 3 tiers. Now, next video will be 4, 5, and 6, and then 7 and 8. But the good thing about that is I've already watched a majority of those, so I don't have to watch them over and over and over and over, and I can get right onto those. So thank the Lord for that. Okay, but for this, needed to get this one out because it would make no sense if I just did 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It would make no sense. So here we go. This was a starting part. Then we got the middle, and then we got the end, which again, I already covered most of the end of it. So with that being said, I want to say thank you to each and every single one of you who liked, subscribed, became a patron. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. This was a lot of time. This was 4 to 5 years in the making. I said I would do this back in 2021. Here we are in 2025. Finally got something out. And, wow. That was brutal. That was brutal. I'll see you on the next one. That will be 4, 5, and 6, and then 7 and 8, and then I'll put them all together. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Y'all have a good one. I'm your boy Cold Raven. Peace.